Hey guys, YouTube Warrior 100 here. Okay, and now continuing my series of Nightmare on Elm Street Friday the 13th reviews. Now here's my review of Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Yeah, so I just finished watching this movie. This one sucked. Yeah, there's no other way around it. This movie sucked. I mean, I just felt like this one was just really unnecessary to do. I mean, since Jason was not in this movie. Yeah, if this was like part of my horror movie reviews last year, this would probably be like me skipping over Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Yeah, if I was reviewing the Friday the 13th movies last year, I probably would just skip this one and go straight from 4 to 6. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, this one just sucked. Yeah, I mean, this one came out in March of 1985. Yeah, I forgot to mention in my Part 4 review, that one came out in 1984, and then this one came out in March 1985, yeah. And yeah, just like the first movie, this one doesn't have Jason as the killer. And yeah, then this thing was just, I felt it was an unnecessary movie to make, and yeah, this movie just really sucked. I give this like maybe 1.75 stars out of 4. Alright, so let me just get right into this review. Alright, so this movie starts off with Tommy. He's back from the fourth movie, yeah. Yeah, this starts off with him at 12 years old again. And he's in a graveyard, well, on a rainy night. And then he passes by Jason's grave. And then he sees two guys digging up his corpse as he's hiding. And then, yeah, Jason arises from the grave, and then he kills those two guys. And, yeah, he starts walking towards Tommy, and right before he kills him with his machete, it turns out it was just a dream. And then, yeah, Tommy then wakes up, and he's a grown teenager now. And then he gets dropped off at a mental institution, where he's greeted by the assistant director or something, Pam, and then he's introduced to the doctor, Matt. And then he gets taken to his room where he meets the grandson of the cook at the mental institution, Reggie. Yeah. And then, yeah, he meets Tommy, and then he sees his mask. And Tommy wants Reggie to keep his hands off of them. And then we see some of the other people at the teens at the mental institution, or halfway house, I should say. Yeah, it's a halfway house, not a mental institution. Yeah, they're like these lovers, Eddie and Tina. Robin, who's a perky redhead. Jake, who's kind of like the shy one. A goth girl, Violet. A really temperamental guy, Vic, and then the chronic eater, Joey. And then Joey's trying to help out. Like, he's trying to help girls, like, hang laundry, and they don't want his help. And then he goes to Vic, who's chopping logs with an axe. And yeah, Vic is just being, like, he's just yelling at Joey, telling him to just leave him alone and go away. And yeah, Joey tells Vic that he's being real unreasonable. And then Vic then kills Joey by nailing him in the back with the axe. Yeah. And then Vic gets arrested for it, and then the paramedics are loading Joey up. One of the paramedics, Duke, was joking about it, while the partner, Roy, was just real saddened by it. Yeah, and then, yeah, before that I should have probably said, like, there are a couple of people that live near the halfway house, Ethel and her son Junior, and they're, like, threatening to shut the place down if the teens keep sneaking up on their property. Yeah, yeah, that happened before all the stuff with Joey and Vic and stuff. Yeah. And then, yeah, later that night, there are these two guys that are trying to, like, get their car to work again, because, yeah, they're having car troubles. And, yeah, one of the guys takes off, while the other guy continues to try to fix it, and there's the unseen killer, and then he kills the both of them. And then, yeah, then we cut back to Tommy, and then, yeah, it's the next morning, and then he looks into the mirror, and then he sees Jason in the mirror, but then he turns around, and Jason's not there. Yeah, this happened a couple of times where he sees Joey, and then turns out Jason's not there. Yeah. Yeah, and then it, then there was like a breakfast scene where the cook, George, and yeah, Reggie is helping like set the table for breakfast, and then yeah, Tommy's told to get one of the guys, Eddie, to come into the to have breakfast, and then he like just sneaks up on Tommy and scares him, and then Tommy just attacks Eddie, and then the doctor Matt had to restrain Tommy. Yeah, yeah, and then back at Ethel and Junior's house, there's this guy that wants to get some food because just he's hungry, and then Ethel tells him that if he will clean up her yard or something, that she'll give him some food. Yeah. And then yeah, then and like a little later on, there's this other paramedic that is like waiting for his girlfriend to get off her diner shift, and so they can go out. And then the killer, who I won't reveal just yet, that I'll reveal him later on. Yeah, yeah. He then kills the guy with an axe, and then the girlfriend comes out, and then she gets killed too. Yeah. And then Eddie and Tina head off to the woods to have sex, where Raymond is spying on them, and then he gets killed by being stabbed to death. And then Eddie like leaves to wash off, and then Tina gets killed with some hedge clippers right to the eyes. Yeah. And then Eddie comes back and sees what happened to Tina, and then he gets killed too. And then that night, Pam takes Reggie to go see his brother, and then Matt asks Pam to take Tommy along too. And so they head off to see Reggie's brother Demon. And then yeah, Reggie also meets Demon's girlfriend Anita, and then yeah, they're spending time together for a little bit. Reggie introduced Demon to Pam. Yeah. And then Junior came up to Tommy. Tommy was waiting out by the truck. And then yeah, Junior was talking some smack to Tommy, and then Tommy attacked Junior, and then yeah, after that Tommy just ran off, and then Pam and Reggie had to leave also. And then yeah, then Demon and Anita were talking, and then Demon needed to go to the bathroom, and then Anita was like messing around with the porta potty that Demon was in, yeah. And then when Demon opened the door, Anita was dead, and then yeah, Demon tried to stay in the porta potty away from danger, but eventually his body was pierced. And then yeah, Pam took Reggie back to the halfway house. They, everyone else, Jake, Robin, and Pam. No, sorry, not Jake, Robin, and Violet. Sorry, told Pam that Matt and George went out to go find Eddie and Tina because they didn't know what happened to them and they were still gone. And so Pam went off to look for them. And then yeah, and then later on back at Ethel in Junior's house. Junior is like riding his bike around the house, and then he gets killed, and then Ethel then is killed with a cleaver to her face. And then yeah, Reggie fell asleep on the couch back at the halfway house, and then yeah, Jay was killed with a cleaver to the head. And, or was it the chest? Yeah, I forgot whether it was the head or the chest, but it was something. Yeah, then Robin got strangled to death on her bed, and then Violet was stabbed in the stomach, and then Reggie woke up, and he went to Tommy's room to see if Tommy was back at the house, and then he saw that Jake, Robin, and Violet were all dead, and then Pam came back, and then she saw what happened to them. And so yeah, Reggie and Pam tried to get out of the house, and then the killer finally kicked his way through the house, and it was who we thought was Jason. Yeah, because yeah, it wore the hockey mask and the had the machete. So yeah, we were supposed to think it was Jason right there. So yeah, and he was chasing Pam and Reggie out of the halfway house, and then they got separated in the woods, and then they saw like Duke, the paramedic, he was dead, and then yeah, Pam ran around the woods and found all the carnage. Yeah, Matt was killed, and then yeah, actually went back to the halfway house. George was thrown through the window, and he was dead. And then Jason continued to chase Pam, and then yeah, Reggie rammed Jason with a tractor, but then Jason arrived, and yeah, he chased Pam and Reggie into a barn, and then Pam then grabbed a chainsaw and started to duel with Jason, and then she cut Jason in the arm, but the chainsaw then ran out of gas, and then Reggie, then Jason then took Pam down, and yeah, Pam and Reggie then fled up to the hayloft, and then Tommy then showed up, and then Jason started to walk towards Tommy, and Jason slashed Tommy down the chest, but then Tommy grabbed his pocket knife and stabbed Jason right in the groin area, and then Tommy went up to the loft, but then he passed out, and then Jason went up to the loft, and then yeah, Jason tried to go after Pam again, but then Reggie knocked Jason off of the hayloft, and as Pam and Reggie were hugging, Jason then grabbed Reggie by the leg, tried to pull him off the loft, but then Tommy recovered and then grabbed the machete and stabbed Jason in the hand, and then Jason then fell down onto a bed of spikes where he died. And then yeah, as that happened, the mask then fell off, and it turns out it wasn't Jason after all, it was actually Roy, the other paramedic. And then cut to the hospital, where then it's explained to Pam why Roy was doing that, because as it turned out, Joey was his son. And then, yeah, the death just drove Roy insane and caused him to dress up as Jason and go on a killing spree. Then Pam went into Tommy's room at the hospital, so where he was asleep, and then Tommy then woke up and he had a knife and he stabbed Pam. And it turns out that was a dream too, and then Tommy then woke up again, and then he saw Jason standing in front of him, but Tommy, like, he knew that it wasn't real and that he was just hallucinating, and then Jason then just, like, faded away. And then Pam was then standing outside Tommy's room, then she heard, like, glass breaking, and then she opened the door. She saw the window broken, and then, yeah, then Tommy was standing behind her wearing a hockey mask and holding a knife, and he closed the door, and then he just was wielding the knife, and then yeah, it just ended like that. That's how the movie ended, with just Tommy, like, holding the knife, wearing the mask, right, standing behind Pam. So yeah, 1.75 stars out of 4. This movie just really sucked. Yeah, yeah, this is definitely my least favorite Friday the 13th movie I've seen so far. So yeah, I don't know whether they'll get better or worse, I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, that does it for my review of Friday the 13th Part 5. So yeah, well, yeah. So that just does it for this review, yeah. Coming up next will be the start of the beginning of the Nightmare on Elm Street reviews. My next review will be of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, so yeah, stay tuned for that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.